Things just took a major turn when it comes to the Ducks re-signing Mason McTavish. We get into all that in this edition of Ducks Digest. Hey, this is Mike Nelson. Make sure to subscribe to the channel. I want to thank the 9% of the ones who are watching these videos who have already hit the sub button, but 91% of you have not subscribed yet. Not sure why. We're the newest Anaheim Ducks YouTube channel, bring you everyday Ducks content, so make sure to hit that subscribe button. As you know, the Ducks and Mason McTavish have been in some sort, it's been interesting this last few weeks since free agency kicked off. But we got an interesting report from Elliotte Friedman earlier today talking about the Ducks not crazy on a bridge deal for Mason McTavish. They prefer a long-term extension. That is the latest kind of a new development, because at first, sources were saying that the Ducks were all in on a bridge deal and they didn't want to sign Mason to a long-term deal. Well, things have now changed. A new development has surfaced with the Anaheim Ducks and the ongoing saga of contract extension negotiations. This article from the Hockey News posted earlier today. After a long summer of varying speculation, NHL insider Elliotte Friedman, speaking on his 32 Thoughts podcast earlier today, reported that the Ducks are trying to move away, willingness to grind away until they get to a number they like. So trying to get to a contract and pay an average annual amount value that they want to pay is basically the goal of the Ducks. He also reported the Ducks might prefer to avoid a bridge deal, and they want to sign McTavish to a long-term extension, which is new information, I would say, because, the Ducks and McTavish, we were hearing, trade rumors. Then we were hearing the Ducks wanted to sign him to a bridge deal, that Pat Verbeek GM was not interested in signing McTavish, not interested in locking up McTavish long-term, just like how he treated Zegras and Drysdale. But things seem like they're different with McTavish, and I think why would you not want to sign McTavish to a long-term deal, right? I think this is more than obvious that the Ducks should have done this long ago. They should have signed McTavish to a long-term deal months ago. It just doesn't make sense to me, this whole situation, and I just think it's ownership being cheap. It has to be that. What else is it then? If the Ducks want to sign him long-term and they haven't signed him yet, then it's basically because the Ducks just want to be cheap and they don't want to pay McTavish what he wants. That's basically probably what's going on. I just don't see any other solution here, any other possible scenario on exactly what is going on between the McTavish and Ducks situation. For McTavish, I think it's a little bit different because Verbeek and the Ducks in the past have shown a willingness to keep guys out until they're comfortable with. That's what Freeman said. The one thing I've consistently heard over the last little while is that they're not crazy about bridging McTavish. Now, maybe that will change. Maybe they'll do it, but I've heard that they prefer a long-term contract. The Ducks have a relatively clean cap sheet in the years to come with $20 million in current cap space. So, yeah, they have a lot of cap space. There's no doubt about it. And Radko Gudas, Jacob Trouba, those guys are done after this year. Most likely, at least one of those guys will not be with the Ducks next year, if not both of them. This could be the last year for Gudas and Trouba. We might not see both of these guys with the Ducks next year. They're both aging veterans. They could potentially have bad seasons for the Ducks, and both of those guys are gone. Kreider, Killorn, Strome are expiring after next season. Other guys that are, of course, veterans for the Ducks. If you want to do long-term, what is that, 6 years? That's what Freeman is thinking, 6, 7 years, 8 years for McTavish. I don't have the answer yet on what's going to happen yet on this one. I don't think they want to trade him, but I've heard they're not crazy on a bridge deal. Maybe it may not be easy for the two sides to agree on a longer projection, which is obviously bad news. If the Ducks and McTavish can't agree on a long-term deal, and this thing isn't getting done, right? It's not going to happen. Around the NHL, guys like McTavish, like Frank Nazar, got 7 years, $6.6 million a year. Jackson Blake, 8 years, $5 million a year. And Lowen Stankoven got 8 years, $6 million. They've all signed long-term deals since July 1st. I think McTavish wants at least $6 million a year, right? I think he wants $6-7 million a year. And I just hope the Ducks are not trying to be cheap here and only give him $5 million. Is that what's going on? What is going on here with the Ducks? You have to be concerned with the way ownership is handling this if this is what's going on. based on McTavish's draft pedigree, the 3-year track record in the NHL, and the shown ability to improve year after year, his number would likely come in higher than the trio of talented young players, and resemble something like maybe what Nye signed with the Leafs, 6 years, $7 million. Although I think 6-7, like I said, I think McTavish would take a $6.5 million year. I don't know if he'll take, 7 seems a bit much for McTavish, the way the Ducks are. I think the Ducks are trying to sign him at 5.5, and that's probably why the Ducks and McTavish have not come to an agreement. It's probably why McTavish has not signed the contract, right? Because he probably feels offended by the Ducks' offer. He's probably upset at the way this whole thing is being handled, and that's why there hasn't been an agreement. And basically, he's holding out here, and training camp is in less than 2 weeks. The preseason starts, as we know, in 2 weeks. Sunday the 21st is the first preseason game against the LA Kings out in Ontario, and there's no contract. And I mean, it's bad news. I mean, I just think this has to be on the front office. I mean, I don't know how anybody out there can blame McTavish for not wanting to sign a long-term deal where he's only paid $5 million a year. Of course, I'm just assuming that that's probably the case. The Ducks are offering him a lousy deal that's not enough money, and that's why he hasn't signed the contract, because there's no incentive for McTavish to really be holding out here. I mean, what incentive do you think does McTavish get with holding out with this situation? He's a restricted free agent. Basically, any team can match the offer. If another team decides to offer, if any team offers him more money, the Ducks can match that offer because he's a restricted free agent. And I just don't see how this benefits McTavish, him holding out. And I think the Ducks are just being cheap. I think this is on ownership. They're just being cheap with this whole situation. Maybe at first the Ducks wanted to do a short-term deal, and McTavish and his agent were against it, right? I mean, and now they're pigeonholed in this corner to sign McTavish to a long-term deal, and I don't know. It's so many unanswered questions. This is obviously a big development today from Elliot Friedman, who usually gets these sort of stories right. As we know, Friedman is one of the top NHL insiders around the league, and this guy knows what he's talking about. So you have to believe what he's saying. The Ducks probably, want to sign to a long-term deal now. We don't know what it was at the beginning. The question is now, I think everybody has to ask themselves, what does McTavish think right now? Does he want to sign with the Ducks long-term? And how does he feel about this whole situation? I mean, is McTavish frustrated to a point where now he doesn't really want to sign long-term, right? I mean, it's just the whole thing was mishandled by the Ducks and Verbeek and ownership. A total disaster the way this is handled. And unfortunately, it's September 5th right now and still no agreement. As always, make sure to subscribe, and let's go Ducks. Woo!